There is a moment, and you have probably experienced it, when your entire neighborhood goes loud all at once, not gradually, not building from somewhere distant, all at once. A dozen crows, maybe more, erupting from the trees in a coordinated wall of sound that fills the street and makes you look up from whatever you were doing. And then, just as suddenly, it stops. You go back inside. You tell yourself it was nothing. But here is what nobody has ever told you. That sound was not noise. That was information. Structured, encoded, real-time intelligence, passing between birds that have been quietly watching your block long before you ever moved in. Most of us have been trained to hear birdsong as background, pretty, forgettable, the kind of thing you tune out on your morning commute or ignore while walking the dog. We have spent so long domesticating our perception of the natural world that wildlife starts to feel decorative, like it exists for our scenery, not for its own purpose. But Corvid researchers at the University of Washington tore that assumption apart in a study so specific, so methodical, that the scientific community was forced to genuinely reconsider where crow intelligence had been sitting this entire time. What they found was not a random alarm system. What they found was a broadcast. Crows produce what ornithologists call mobbing calls, but that term, clean and clinical as it sounds, undersells everything that is actually happening. These vocalizations are not generic, they are differentiated. Acoustic analysis confirmed that crows modulate call rate, pitch, and timing based on what they are looking at. A stationary threat gets one signal, a moving threat gets another. An aerial predator, the single most dangerous category in their survival hierarchy, triggers a third distinct call that carries a level of urgency the human ear can feel even without understanding it. Every crow within range receives that signal and responds with zero ambiguity. No confusion. No delay. Immediate coordinated action. And now here is where it stops feeling like a nature fact and starts feeling like something else entirely. These birds are not just reacting to danger, they are filing it permanently. The same University of Washington program demonstrated across multiple controlled studies that crows can recognize, retain, and recall individual human faces for years. Not weeks, not a single season. Years. Test subjects who had briefly handled crows were identified and followed across an entire campus, wearing different clothes, different hairstyles, moving through completely different contexts, and not just by the crows they had directly encountered, by crows that had never seen them before in their lives. The threat profile had been passed socially. One crow told another. That one told more. The information moved through the flock like a database entry that never gets deleted. Think about what that actually means for the birds living on your street right now. The crow sitting on your fence is not simply a bird sitting on a fence. It is a node in a distributed surveillance network that has quietly been cataloging every human in its territory. Your routine, your gait, your schedule, the times of day you come and go, and whether you have ever, even once, represented a threat. If you disturbed a nest 3 springs ago, if you shooed one off your garbage can, if you held prolonged eye contact during the wrong moment, those others told more, and the record did not expire. The structure that enables this is not intuition. It is not instinct in the way we casually use that word. Crow populations maintain what researchers call information centers, communal roosts, sometimes holding thousands of individuals, that function as active knowledge exchanges. Younger crows, shadow-experienced foragers, specifically to inherit information they have not personally earned. Threat profiles, territorial maps, reliable food sources, and
all of it circulates through these roosts and gets absorbed by birds that were not present when the original event occurred. You can have a grudge held against you by a crow you have never met, in a neighborhood you just moved into, for something that happened to a completely different crow years before you arrived. That is not metaphor. That is documented behavior. But the depth of what is happening inside a crow's skull goes even further than social memory. Researchers examining Corvid neurobiology identified a region of the avian forebrain called the nidipallium cingulare, a structure with a neuronal density comparable to what we observe in great apes and cetaceans. What this enables is not reflexive response. It enables prospective cognition, planning ahead, reasoning about the mental states of other individuals. And when a crow is assessing a human being, it is not running a binary safe or dangerous check. It is weighing your posture, your movement direction, your proximity to the nest, the time of day, the season, and whether your face matches anything archived in its long-term memory, simultaneously, in real time, inside a brain smaller than your thumb. And then there is everything they are picking up that you are physically incapable of detecting. Crows register low-frequency atmospheric pressure shifts that precede storm systems by hours. They detect subsonic vibrations from approaching vehicles long before those vehicles are visible. Their spatial memory allows individual birds to track thousands of distinct food cache locations across a territory, not just where, but how long ago and how likely the food is to still be good. The bird you dismissed as just sitting there was processing a density of environmental information that your most focused, most attentive human moment could not come close to matching. So the next time that wall of sound erupts across your neighborhood, that sudden, collective, coordinated broadcast that washes over everything and then goes quiet, understand what you actually witnessed. You witnessed a real-time intelligence alert, distributed simultaneously across a population of individuals who remember everything, teach each other everything, and have been quietly building a picture of your behavior long before you ever thought to notice them. The silence that follows is not the end of it. The silence is them processing what they just learned, updating the record. And somewhere in that flock, right now, possibly outside your window, there's a crow that has never once laid eyes on you, but already knows exactly who you are. The only question worth sitting with is this: what did the crows in your neighborhood decide about you, and how long ago did they make up their minds?